would be your success story?
Well, I love Howie Mandel. I loved Howie Mandel from the day he walked into the club and the day he went on stage. Everything about him said, this is a whole new Toronto. And he was wild and infectious and just puckish, and he was a delight. And we're still friends, and, this new success he has with
Deal or No Deal.
It's just making me so happy to see that that's happened because, a lot of people wrote him off. Not that you ever have to worry about Howie. He's very wealthy. He invested his money in a very wise series of ways with California real estate. He's a top touring act. But let's face it, he hasn't had much happening on TV or film in 15 years, maybe more. And
Boston Pizza commercial.
Yeah, commercial. And then all of a sudden he's got this show on which probably will save the network he's on. That's how big it is. So, he's got the last laugh, and it couldn't happen to a nicer, more talented guy.
And so, okay, now you've got your chain of chain of
clubs,
shops,
plus an agency,
plus a college,
plus the college. That's three things, plus XM.
XM.
And then I do some writing and producing on the side.
And then you also are a member of the Speakers Bureau. You
Yeah.
go out and do enthusiastic talks.
Well, that's the problem. Mark, I wish I did. It's the problem. I'd work a lot more. The problem is I basically go out there and tell people why people who tell them that they can do anything are wrong. And that when they think about what they want to do, they should think about the thing that they're really good at, not the thing they want to do. I'm a realist, actually. People think I'm an idealist but because I'm in the arts, but I'm very much a realist. I read an interesting interview with Phyllis Diller. What people don't know about Phyllis Diller, she's not just a comic, she's a painter, and she's a writer, and she's got all kinds of different things that she does. She makes furniture. And I said, Phyllis, what's your secret? She said, my secret is I start doing something. I try a lot of things. And if something is easy, I keep doing it. And if it's hard, I quit. And that's so contrarian to what all these people will tell you about, you just have to work hard and put your nose to the grindstone and do all this. No, that could be just a recipe for repeating your lack of talent and your failure over and over again. I got to tell you that YukYuks came to me relatively easy. I didn't make a lot of money at it, but I got a lot of attention. It worked. I got laughs. If I didn't find that happen in the first year, I'd be doing something else.
But you talk about your inner adolescent as though that's where you come from in play.
That's right. A lot of people talk about their inner child. I murdered my inner child at a very young age. When I was one of those kids who always wanted to play with adults, I wanted to always play with the big kids. I never played with people my own age. When I was sent to kindergarten, for the first day, I came home. My mother said, well, Markela, how was it? I said, I hated it. Why? I said, it was full of children. I never liked children. But what I always liked teenagers, because teenagers were like adults without the responsibility. And I have tried to keep my life as close to possible, getting that spirit of what it was like to be 17, 18 years old, and keep that now that I'm in my 50s. That's the time I like. That's the time I relate to. People are going through massive changes. They're not afraid of change. Everything is new, and yet they have enough ballast to be able to act on them. Children can't do that. So I've always found that I've been in touch with my inner adolescent as the best way for me to proceed.
And so as a speaker, you present that as an alternative, that people can get the best of their life.
Yeah, and I don't work much as a speaker, trust me. But if anybody wants to book me, you're listening now, you can go in Speakers Bureau and book me if you like. But I'm definitely not a motivational speaker. I'm kind of an anti-motivational speaker. I'm the kind of guy you hire when you want to end your life. And you want a really good reason.
Oh, so if someone's having a suicide pact, you might be their keynote speaker.
Well, I would think, yeah. That's why I could never work for. I worked for a suicide hotline for a while, and it was horrible. You know what? They would tell me all these reasons why they wanted to kill themselves, and I'd agree with them. I would just say, you're right. Maybe a long life isn't the best life.
So
better a good short poem than a lousy long novel.
So not
just don't make a mess. When you walk into my house, the first thing you see is a spotlight on a book, one book that's sitting on a marble pedestal, and that book is Final Exit, which is the, as you know, the guide to suicide by the Hemlock Society.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a thin little book, but it tells you how
One
to...
page made out of hemlock?
No, it tells you how to kill yourself. And just in case anybody wants to know, the best way to kill yourself is you take an overdose of barbiturates, and just as you're starting to fall asleep, you put a plastic bag over your head.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you did just one or the other, it wouldn't be quite enough. If you put the bag over your head, as soon as you start to stop breathing, you'll rip it off, because that's what your sense of survival will tell you. If you just take the barbiturates, if you miscalculate the dosage, you'll throw them up, or you'll go into a coma, which will be horrible for your next of kin. This way, you're guaranteed to die. So that's the first thing you see when you walk into my house. The other thing you will notice. Sorry?
A way out.
A way out, yes. And the next thing you'll see is all the clocks are stopped at exactly 11:20. Why are they stopped at 11:20? Because that's when Kennedy was assassinated, Dallas time. I find the Kennedy assassination the single funniest moment of the 20th century.
So when you get home, you see the book and you see the clock,
and
that makes you laugh.
And that's just the beginning.
And so
there's also the bowl of aspirin.
Bowl of aspirin?
Well, yeah. Every year on New Year's Eve, and I see we're just heading up to the end of this interview, so I'll just leave you with this. Every year on New Year's Eve, I put 500 aspirin in a nice, beautiful crystal bowl on my coffee table. I eat them throughout the year when I have a headache. When I'm upset, I got a headache, I take these aspirin. At the end of the year, I can count the number of aspirin left and know what kind of year I had.
Is that a Jewish thing?
I don't think so. It's a crystal bowl.
Yeah, it would be an asprin thing.
Yeah.
Why?
That's an interesting way to gauge what kind of year you've had.
Yeah,
how many headaches you've had.
Yeah, so last year, I had I think 382 aspirins left. It was a pretty good year.
From 500?
Yeah, it's a pretty good year.
Yeah, that sounds like a good year.
I've emptied the bowl certain years.
Well, less than half.
91 you don't want to know about.
Oh, that was a 2-bowl year, wasn't it?
2-bowl year, yeah.
Well, you have been an awesome interview.
I thought you were going to say you have been an odd interview.
Well, yes, you've been an odd interview too, but that's the greatness that you are.
Thanks.
I would like to thank you for coming by, and we have an audience here. Usually, I don't have an audience for my show, so obviously you have attracted.
God, I do 2 people and a dog. That's pretty. How
many people in this room have done stand-up?
But wait, that's better than my
than
my speaking engagement sometimes.
That's pretty funny.
But you are funny.
Thank you.
You are a natural humor.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Well, you should push my book just at the.
Your book, Controlled Freak?
Yeah, it's still available on the internet. Yeah, Control Freak still available on the internet.
On eBay also?
Probably on eBay.
You can download it as a PDF?
No. Yeah, I think the only thing you
can order it online.
Yeah, you can order it online.
I'd suggest a product shop, but we're radio.
Well, we should also tell people to go to your website.
Yes, www.yukyuks.com.
And do you yourself have a contact?
No. I don't want people to talk to me.
They could call 967.
I'm the last guy to have a blog. My blog will just say none of your business. I have a MySpace account, where it says your friends.
Yes.
It says if you were my real friend, you'd hide me. That's all it says.
I love it.
Just